Donald Trump is throwing JD Vance under the bus as Donald Trump's health is collapsing. Donald Trump, as you know, has been posting on social media that he took yet another cognitive exam. He also keeps on posting, ranting and raving like a lunatic that he feels he's going to be assassinated soon by Iran. Donald Trump is clearly going through some things. We've known this before. He's cognitively and physically deteriorating before our eyes. And as Donald Trump sees that the clock is running out, I think he's thinking to himself, is it really going to be JD? Is it going to be Marco Rubio? Who's it going to be? And then you have Pete Hegseth also swooping in, and Hegseth's trying to take his stab at, being in the Oval Office, I suppose. And he's like, bad move you made, Iran. Big mistake. I'm coming after you. Those are the posts that he was making as he's further escalating this disastrous war against Iran, exposing the United States to global economic catastrophe and destroying the lives of Americans. So Donald Trump's been having JD Vance go out there and give these speeches in Wisconsin and to go on these podcasts to try to act like he's normal. And of course, Trump and others know that JD Vance is not normal at all. I think Donald Trump's just trying to show everybody just how bizarre and strange JD Vance is. So they have JD Vance go to Wisconsin, and then he tries to do a Wisconsin accent, and I guess his speechwriter put this into his speech. Let me show you what went down. Here, play this clip.
I love Wisconsin, or as you guys say, Wisconsin. Love Wisconsin, but we have got to have a gun.
And then JD Vance couldn't answer some of the more basic questions about Donald Trump's election fraud, where Trump tries to lie about the results of the 2020 election. So he's asked, so why is the Trump administration looking at the 2020 election in Milwaukee? And JD Vance like, whoa, a good question there. Here, play this clip.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Matt Smith from WISN TV in Milwaukee. The president has talked about election fraud as well a lot. Just yesterday, Milwaukee's mayor sent your office a letter saying he would love to meet with you and some election officials here in the city after agents started asking questions and interviewing people about 2020 again. So I'm curious, what can you tell us about the FBI investigation here in Milwaukee into 2020, and why are they re-looking at that election here in the city?
Well, first of all, if I did...
And then JD Vance flips around a poster to show his audience, I guess something that the Trump regime was pursuing about fraud. Who the hell knows? But the glare was so bad you couldn't even see anything. Let me show you what was going down there. Let's play this clip.
I want to point to this woman. Now, I want to be clear that the woman in the back did nothing wrong. But look at this woman in the front with the smug look and the Louis Vuitton bag. A woman.
So then they had JD Vance do this podcast with Mike Rowe called The Way I Heard It. And JD Vance, I'll just let you watch for yourself what went down as Trump's cabinet, they're putting JD Vance out here to do these things. And it's kind of like a test for JD to see, all right, are you gonna be able to step in? Are you going to be able to be a full MAGA psycho? He is anyway. But here's what JD Vance talks about. I wrote the book. I didn't use Chat GPT, Here, play this clip.
I wrote the book myself and, didn't use Chat GPT. And sometimes when politicians write books, by the way, the other thing I wanted to make sure is that it wasn't just another
Then JD Vance accuses most people who go to college of getting fake degrees. He goes, it's not like your doctors or lawyers or engineers. Most people are getting fake jobs. Okay, here, play this clip right here.
But also, number two, a lot of the people who are going and getting 4-year degrees, they're not like engineers and doctors. They have effectively fake jobs. And that's like...
And as part of that same podcast, JD Vance he's asked, can you describe what your life is like as the vice president? And watch what he says. Here, play this clip.
I think that what Mamaw would be worried about, and it's something I worry about too, is my life is, dude, totally transformed. I don't go to the grocery store anymore. People go to the grocery store for me. Most of my meals, like when I cook a meal, it's like, I love to cook, actually. I'm a big baker. I like to cook for my kids as a special occasion, but I don't have to cook anymore because I've got an army of people who are willing to like cook me my food. My life is so weird. I fly around on a 757, no more TSA lines for me and the kids. It's so weird, but it can become the sort of thing that if you internalize it, you start to be an entitled asshole.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that Mamaw would really be insistent on is don't become entitled about this. Recognize it's cool. It's a blessing. Obviously, it comes along with duties and responsibilities, but she would be very proud of me. I know she would. She would also make sure that I didn't get too big for my britches.
One thing I've learned is that car repairs never happen at a convenient time. I've had those moments where a warning light comes on and suddenly you're staring at a repair bill you weren't planning for. It's stressful, especially when you're relying on your car every single day. That's why I like CarShield. They offer low-cost, month-to-month vehicle protection plans that can help save you from expensive out-of-pocket repair costs. Plus, you get 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, and rental car options at no additional cost. They work with ASC-certified mechanics and repair shops across the country. Their contracts have low deductibles to help keep costs manageable, and they've been serving drivers for more than 20 years. They cover over 2 million vehicles, have a 96% customer rating, an A+ rating from the BBB, and were named a USA Today Top Place to Work for 2026. CarShield lets you lock in your rate today so you aren't hit by surprise inflation tomorrow. It's a proactive, evidence-based approach to your personal finances. Right now, CarShield is offering our listeners 20% off with the code Meidas at carshield.com/Meidas. Visit carshield.com/Meidas to lock in your coverage today and protect yourself from expensive car repairs. Again, go to carshield.com/Meidas and use code Meidas, that's MEIDAS, for 20% off.
And then he tries to, I guess, make himself sound relatable. So he tells the story about being with Elon Musk. And he's like, Elon Musk is like, man, I could buy everything, but I can't buy that. And again, JD is just to remind you how odd JD Vance is as a human being. Here, play this clip.
It's the thing that money can't buy. So I was traveling, actually, Elon Musk was in my motorcade at one point. I think we were in Florida, actually. It was maybe during the transition. And, it's just they had completely shut down traffic from the airport to, I think, Mar-a-Lago. And Elon's like, I can buy a lot, but I can't buy that.
I can't buy that. Now, another thing that the Trump regime did is on Friday, before they escalated further in the war on Saturday, which we all know they were going to do, they held a conference call. Marco Rubio refused to be a part of this call. So it was JD Vance, it was Witkoff, and it was Kushner to brief the press on, I guess, all of the lies that the Trump regime was saying. You know how on Friday they were like, Iran really wants to make a deal. They said that the reason that some cargo ships and other tankers were hit by Iran was that it was just like they called it an erratic sect of the Iranians, or whatever that meant, the erratic sect. And they're the ones who did it. But the less erratic sect, they were like, we want to make peace with you. We want to do a deal. We're sorry about the erratic people. And then so we're like, okay, Iran, you're going to say you're going to make a mistake? So like they create this entire fabricated fan fiction that we've been telling you. You know, since you watch the MeidasTouch network, that none of that's true. Iran's always been, whether you like it or not, Iran's been very clear since March. They control the Strait of Hormuz. They will not allow their control over it to be removed because they view that as really their main leverage point, because they don't trust the Trump regime to keep its word in any negotiation. So it's been very clear. They're not going to allow alternative routes. They're not going to, they will go to the end. They know that the Trump regime And the American people don't want a war. They know that. Donald Trump and some of his, warmongers and neocons may want it, but they know the American people don't want it. And they also know that Donald Trump, is panicking right now. So anyway, the point I'm making is JD Vance on Friday spoke to the press to update them about this lie. Witkoff and Kushner refused to talk on the conference call. So it was just JD Vance and everyone's like, okay, here comes the fall guy. And then this is what JD Vance has said. JD Vance all right, so the Iranians, they were telling me, they're oh wait, man, you're such a good negotiator, JD. We gave up leverage that we didn't want to give up. So the Iranians, they decide to renege on the deal. And so they were we're reneging on the deal because they felt caught off guard about how good we were doing getting our oil out once the MOU was entered. And so now they breached the deal and it's all right, what are you talking about, JD? They've been very clear about what their intentions are, whether we like it or not. And at some point, you either are going to have to accept that, which I think you should, and just, focus on domestic issues, or I don't think you should do this. You're going to, if you're going to change the dynamic in the Strait of Hormuz, you're going to have to do a ground invasion, which is going to cost hundreds of thousands of American lives. And no one wants that. Y'all got into this trap. Y'all are stuck. The best thing to do is just to retreat, and you lost. That's what happened. And they're all obviously pegging JD as the person who lost, but it's not. It's Trump. It's Netanyahu. It's this whole regime. And you know what? At the end of the day, you should never have been in this catastrophic and unlawful war in the first place. And anyone could have predicted this was going to happen. And then JD, I think trying to take a shot at Trump is let me ask you this very simple question. When you come to vote in November, are you going to vote for the pro-fraud party? Yeah, you're looking in a mirror, JD. Here, play this clip right here.
So I ask you a very simple question. When you come to vote in November, are you going to vote for the pro-fraud party? Are you going to vote for the party who is sending your tax money to the fraudsters? No, we're going to support the party that is sending the fraudsters to jail and is protecting your money. We're going to vote for Derek Van Orden and for Brian Stile.
Well, there you have it, folks. I mean, you see what they're pushing him out to do. And meanwhile, while he's doing that, you have Marco Rubio on WhatsApp chats with Delcy Rodriguez, the authoritarian president of Venezuela. And Marco Rubio's running Venezuela, and that's his file. I'm the Venezuela guy. I'm the Cuba guy, because I think Rubio wants to position himself right now for the presidency. I mean, we know that, and we know that in 2028. But I think they all see Donald Trump rapidly declining. I think they don't believe that Donald Trump's going to make it through the end of this term, or even maybe through the end of this year, or I think that's what they feel. And you got Rubio and you got JD Vance kind of positioning themselves right now. And I think they're pushing JD out in order to show, what he is. And then I think you have Rubio behind the scenes working with Netanyahu, working with, others in the regime to try to put up Rubio. That's my guess. Tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million. Thanks for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.